nowhere.
Well, I tell you, this is how
Nathan understands.
Nathan is wrong. Nathan is
he's
a
a commie. He just agrees with everybody. It's
He's a
what they do in Canada.
So, again, welcome to the Galaxy's Edge playtest. Walt's gonna be your DM.
Wait, am I doing that tonight?
No,
I'm not even part of this game.
You should, dude. In the last 2 hours, I've had I've had all sorts of orifices explored. I don't need any more than that.
I'm not going to ask any questions about that.
Well, the police did, and it was weird. So we're going to get right into what's going on Discord, Daniel.
Oh man, well, everything is going on Discord. We got the memes where the oppressive Facebook police won't come after you. I mean, we'll still talk politics in VC, but that's where we keep it. Other than that, we got people that have caught up with the angles of attack, or in the way of Badger, how he likes to say it, angels of attack, because they always come from above. Blasters and Bangers is popping off. We got people sharing their new setups, or their wants, or their needs, or their hopes and dreams, and the fact that I got a K31 that's going to be coming this Monday. But yeah, no, everybody's been excited. We got a couple new insiders. Offline was one of them, and maybe one day we'll get all the truckers on, and that'll be a fun time.
Trucker show.
Yeah. And then back onto Discord, or back onto the Cracked Chicken, we had what was it? We had Drifter. He's one of them that said the way you do Cracked Chicken is you batter your chicken in Krusty's buttermilk waffle stuff, which that's a good idea. Yeah. And then Angry, she shared her grilled chicken because she didn't understand that we care about cracked chicken and coating it in drugs.
No, that was something else. That had to have been something else.
But yeah, and then Tomahawk DO451 shared his recipe for heroin chicken. So if you guys want to give that a shot, head over
heroin
to
not included.
And look at about April 2nd. That's when it was posted. So yeah, that's it.
I'll take it.
And Scott Lavery says, "You're indeed mad with power. You gave Benny the maximum demotion today."
You demoted him to hell.
They are actually talking about the Forgotten Ruin role-playing game playtest, which did you guys catch it today?
Oh yeah,
it was.
I'm still a little salty about those 42,000 channel points I bet on him.
Thank you, JR.
Yeah, thanks for those.
Yeah, Houston Oaken made out like bandits. Thank you, man, boy.
Spend them all in one place.
Oh my god!
I made about 30,000 channel points off that bet.
Only 7 months of collecting.
Oh my god!
This is why I'm never going to Vegas.
Well, you can thank Nathan for that. I think he's the one that set up that particular bet, and a bunch of people made out. It was the dice want what the dice want. But
that was it.
Go ahead.
That was an edge of your seat fight, though. Man, it was anybody's game until the end, at least to our perspective.
It got weird there for a minute.
I unfortunately missed it because, to quote another famous fantasy setting, work.
Where's that from?
Warcraft.
Oh, gotcha. The only thing I know about Warcraft is Leroy Jenkins. Why is it? Wait, why have I gone mad with power?
Because you killed Benny.
I didn't.
You can't
the
mute
dice
everyone
kill
who said
Benny.
pineapple.
It's never the DM's fault.
Although I think it got weird there for a minute. It could be the metaphor for some of our lives.
All right, so tonight we're talking obviously Galaxy's Edge and not Forgotten Ruin. Have you guys checked out any of the fringe stuff that Galaxy's Edge has produced in the last couple? Like, for example, the screenplay for the pilot, or perhaps the screenplay for the Wraith audio drama?
I know about them. I haven't read any of it.
I have to have the robotic people read to me.
I've read the TV pilot.
I've read a part of the Wraith one, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, what did you like about it?
It's just the dialogue's really snappy, and it's just a lot of fun. And as someone who has done theater in the past, to answer the question that was just asked, and I just saw a flash on the screen, it's something you can get from insiders as an insider.
Yeah,
but
we got a sneak peek.
Fun, really, it's really fun, really quippy, and I found myself reading some of Wraith's dialogue as someone who has done theater in the past.
Right on. So let me ask a question for those of you who are kind of into season 2. Who's got their patches yet? Has anybody pre-ordered the audio and gotten your patch?
Patches? We don't need no stinking patches.
I pre-ordered, but when I went to go do the patch thing, they said it was done.
Really?
Like,
Dan, did you grab your patch, Daniel? Daniel is muted.
He's having a special moment.
I did not get my patch yet, but I think it's on the way. I did get a confirmation that it was all good though.
Yeah, I got the email saying your patch is on the way soon.
I got mine this morning, and it's with my patch collection.
And what you guys plan to put it on? Anything funky like armor, hat, anything like that?
Upholstery of my car.
Right against the headrest.
Yep.
There we go.
Good spot.
There we go. So for those who are just joining us, we're talking about the audio for the first book in season 2 of the Galaxy's Edge series of novels. And if you pre-ordered the audio book, they were going to send you out like an actual like patch you could stick on your armor or Velcro to your place of choice. I saw them start showing up on the Facebook group, and I was kind of jealous because I haven't gotten mine yet. Not like I'm going to get to keep it anyway. My wife will probably steal it.
Or your Reaper
That's
tab.
what wives do.
I was going to say your Baldur's going to steal it.
Oh, that little bastard. He stole the Reaper tab. And he was just like, your name isn't on this. And it's like, what the shit?
Well, I mean, he is telepathic for a reason.
I didn't even know dogs could read. I mean, because there he goes. And he's disappearing when the camera got on him.
I mean, to be honest, though, even if you did get it, I would have put it on there anyways. Even
there
if
it
wasn't
is.
Meant for you.
Hold on, stay right there. Freeze. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice looking
That
patch.
is a fine patch.
Yeah. Tyrus Rex loves you.
Well, he'd love me even more if I got my posters and stuff put up, but see all that ugly green and writing on the wall? That's where I've got my walls measured out for new sheetrock.
Yeah, you don't want to put up anything else. You're going to have to take it down. Ken is reading my mind. He's saying now, if only the dog could wield a blade. Don't you threaten me with a training opportunity.
Wait.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was going to say Walt has taught his dog 2 languages, and that's one more language than me. So that's pretty impressive.
Did you guys see that farmer's German Shepherd who rolled up and carrying a hand axe?
Wait, what? Go on.
No.
Oh my God!
No.
I'm intrigued.
I'm gonna have to find
pull it up.
Yeah,
So,
do that.
that's why you don't see Baldur on screen. Yes, that is because he is a like myself. He is a ninja midget. So what's been going on in the Facebook group, JR?
Lots of bots attacking and booting people for reasons. and randomly reported stuff that's just like, you do know this is a military sci-fi group, right? Of course we talk about killing bad guys in the one of our mods got muted by Amazon, Facebook for a couple of days.
Yeah. One of our admins keeps getting put in the bad person corner, and like I think he even said, "Oh yeah, good job, keep it up, guy." And then it's just like Facebook banned you for this, and it's just like,
so
wow.
what you're saying is
They
the
were-
Facebook group is under attack by both the Sidebar and the House of Reason.
of course.
Basically,
Yeah, that's
he was
Aren't they
he
one
was
and the
talking
same?
about what they might do to Devers, and that was apparently threats of some sort. I don't know.
Oh Lord,
Devers has it coming, though. I'm just going to put that right out there.
that's an
He
understatement.
only has himself to blame.
It's true.
But at least Nick Cole assures us that there will be dice in his gulag.
Yes, yeah. He said he wants to have like a mad D&D game in prison.
I want to
We're gonna
avoid
be-
prison, but I mean, I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, we're gonna be
You
gulag
guys-
buddies.
You guys know that I have the land for that, so it's going to be fine. I'll treat you all well, especially
Yeah.
JR. JR gets to stay in the cage in my bedroom.
Ooh, that's a dark
Otherwise
turn.
known as
That's,
that just got weird.
that just got real colorful.
Well, speaking of bedrooms, Walt, what's the
I'm
topic
colorful,
today?
not that colorful.
So we're talking CQB today. If you don't know what CQB is, it's a military acronym for close quarters battle. Sometimes it's called CCB, close contact battle, or CQC, close quarters contact, close quarters combat. Each service has their own kind of way to like talk about it and kind of deal with it. But the idea is, instead of fighting across an open terrain or in like wooded areas and stuff like that, you're fighting in very close proximity to your enemy, most likely in urban terrain, buildings, stuff like that. Things can get tight and dicey very, very quickly in these spaces where at any moment you could run right up under the enemy. They could be right under your nose. And we wanted to talk a little bit about that with the Galaxy's Edge. Do you guys recall like the first instance of a CQB op in the series?
Would that
Good
either
war.
be whenever they're breaching the house in the Battle of oh god,
Village.
the intro battle, or would it be whenever they stormed inside of Outpost Zulu?
Well, I mean, it really depends on what you consider as CQB.
I mean, neither one really.
Yeah, because like when they're taking down that house, when they're trying to clear the village, dealing with the tank, that's kind of like
My
textbook.
brain's not working right now.
It's fine. We love broken brains. We fix them, or
There's a pill for that.
yeah.
Whoa.
So
I mean, have you listened to JR and his writing? I mean,
wow. I'll have you
both
know
of you.
I'll have you know that the reservist is very well received.
That's why everyone wants to reserve is free.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
no,
reservist.
but it's right there.
Oh, you got it
So-
right on the shelf.
So I would say that the first introduction that we get chronologically or release speaking is in Legionnaire when they're on Kublar and they're having to clear out the village. And like we've said before about how they have to breach the room and then they throw the grenade in, then they clear the rooms, and I think they come across one or two cubes that are very unfortunate in their life decisions and why they chose to be there in that exact same moment and the exact same time.
Right on.
But I would say a more recent one, if you're getting caught up with the GE books in Angles of Attack, there's at least 2 to 3 scenes that you get hit with immediately, which I thought were pretty cool.
Almost
Yeah.
all of Dark Ops.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the what do you call it? Angles of attack. Right when they're going into the tank complex, or the kind of the hidey holes for the enemy, the NEMs. there's a lot of CQB that goes on. So if you haven't read Angles of Attack, please just kind of hang out for a minute because we're probably going to talk about that, but not spoil it. But yeah, they have to deal with that initial battle across that large intervening space, and then they get caught into like a little bunker complex. Did you read that, Daniel?
Yeah, I am currently about 3 hours away from completing the book.
I've finished through it already.
Right on.
I haven't gotten there yet.
So for those of you who've read it, what did you think of some of the operations for Kel and Team 12 going in and kind of clearing those bunkers?
I think it's really cool seeing how the team works together, and they basically always have their job and they understand it, and they kind of got a buddy system. Like later on in the book, they break off into 2-person teams, and they kind of just go on their own ways, and it's neat seeing how that how Doc explains those situations, and yeah.
Right on. What did you think of some of the? Because one of the things that everybody talks about with CQB is the actual violence of action stuff, right? They kick down the door or they blow open the wall, and then everybody streams in and just dumps epic loads of violence. But that's not like the principal thing. That's kind of like. That kind of makes a close quarters battle successful. Like one of the things you don't often realize is however you go in, you need a route out so that you can deal with medical emergencies, injuries, critical care of somebody who's been shot, hit, or injured on your side. You have to establish cordons. So if you got a squirter, rabbit, there's all sorts of terms for enemy trying to leave the battle space. You can tighten those up as well. Do you guys have any sort of reference for that in the book series?
We just called it rude when they wanted to run away from our party.
Yeah, in Kill Team after they form the Kill Team and they are going through all of their missions before they get to the point of Exo being able to parve them. Their mission on Utopion. Getting the guy who sold the Morrow. Mm-hmm. They had perimeter set up inside the building and outside the building, and sniper Overwatch, making sure anyone that ran away would get snagged immediately. Yeah, because that's a big. Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, and then they did that exact same thing again on. Oh God, I just forgot the name of the Ankalor. Mm-hmm. Whenever they were storming the Donk House. Yep. Yeah. Ankalor had a lot of CQB in it, and a lot of MOUT, so military operations in urban terrain, like where you're just tight and up close and personal with everybody. That scene with the young kid taking up the squad automatic blaster, that was like that was gut wrenching as far as like what that kid decided to do, but at the same time it was also a clear and pretty decisive example of fighting in an enclosed space. Did you guys see that when during the Battle of Ankalor? Oh yeah,
it's been a minute, but yes.
Like whenever they were like the intro to the battle was a lot of sneaky CQB, and then turned into grand scale, here's a field and now fight, and then it turned back into let's go through the tunnels and get to objective. Right on. Ken Foster's like, what do they do when they realize it's the wrong house? It's the one next door.
Hey, we're not talking about the
SWAT.
SWAT.
Oh shit moment.
Well, it happens because sometimes you get bad intelligence. Which is also a thing in the book. If your intel section isn't on their game, because that's a good point, Ken. If your intel section isn't on their game, one of my buddies is in a pretty forward aggressive unit. Yeah, Nathan, fire the intel guy. You have no idea. So one of my buddies is in a pretty forward aggressive unit, and they went to take down a house looking for this one dude, and they hit the wrong house.
So intel section was like, look, we're definite. This is the house, and they're up and down through this house, up to and including like trying to dig through the floor, dig through some of the walls, because the intel guys were swearing up and down. But what was happening was the guy they were looking for was actually cutting through the house that they hit into the next building.
Smart.
So the way they caught him was he was like, "Oh crap, there's a whole lot of Americans out here," and they caught him trying to rabbit out the other side, and it didn't work out well for him. But I mean,
that's where Overwatch comes in.
Yeah, that's where Overwatch comes in. Yeah, can you talk about Overwatch a little bit, JR?
So that's the fun ones are the ones that get to go kick indoors and get shot at. But the unsung heroes of all of that is the ones that sort of surround the area, provide Overwatch, and basically prevent anyone that sneaks away or provide counter sniper operations. So
Yeah.
they're the security blanket for the ones kicking indoors.
Right on. So when you were in Iraq, how often did you use an Overwatch element or a sheriff or anything like that in order to move from one place to another?
So we did purely fob jumping. So if we were doing any kind of CQB, it was because shit hit the fan. So we did have occasions where we had to do that, but we never had Overwatch other than if we could get the sheriff element to send air support. But we had a lot of time getting air support to declare positive identification of targets. So most of the time they just sort of floated and watched while we got shot at, and we sort of hoped for the best. So, I mean, it's not exactly a prime example.
Right on. Yeah, Overwatch is really big on units that are dealing with like getting up close and personal with the enemy.
Although having talked to, so on the other podcast I host with Walt's friend Nick Garber, I actually found out he was providing Overwatch for my unit on one of the operations. We didn't even know it when he was working with the snipers. So there are elements in Overwatch you might not know about with long range marksmanship and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially when you now have weapons that can reach out and touch somebody in another zip code.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they were getting a lot better as I was getting out. I remember it was like the X-22, which was an attempt to make a M2 and a Mark 19 that were quickly compatible, and then they were trying to make rounds that would explode after they breached the wall and then explode from the inside.
Yeah,
so
that weapon like saw. I think they only produced a handful of them before they were like, yeah, this thing's problematic.
The one I saw the trial of, they put a cup of water on the barrel when they fired it, and the water didn't spill to show that it was a stable platform. But, weapons manufacturers can fake a lot of stuff when they want to sell to the government.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And here we have a guy using a Mark 48 as Overwatch. So it's a dude from 2nd Ranger Battalion providing Overwatch as they're doing some building stuff. But Overwatch is hugely important when you're doing close quarters battle because you never know when you're going to have somebody, an enemy element trying to kind of push their way into the show, whether somebody's trying to get in or out through your cordon or anything like that. What about medical? What do you guys feel in the series was really good about like the medics doing their jobs during CQB?
Oh my gosh, it's really cool seeing how like isn't JP and
JP
ankles, how JP he'll go from like medical professional therapist and just like boom, just like you good because if you're not good we'll talk. I got you.
I think that's something
they immediately sorry go
no you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say they immediately they see a guy go down, they immediately hop on it. Forget shooting at him. This guy's down. I need to help him.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a special relationship with people at the tip of the spear and their medics that often is not appreciated in modern science fiction. And when you do see it appreciated, they make it a gendered romantic thing. And I'm like, like that love that they're trying to describe, like, no homo, that's what straight dudes do. Like, because if I get shot and my medic is there, I got a chance. If the medic gets shot first and then I get shot, I'm hosed. Yeah. So it's one of those things you just you protect your doc.
Well, I mean, the first book, all of Legionnaire, Doc was in no combat scenes. As soon as he got introduced, he was off caring for Pappy, and then that was it. That was all. And then any other time he showed up, it was, oh, we're running low on meds. Oh, hey, we need give this to 20s. Hey, we need this because he's going to come out of his coma. And it was just his position was nowhere near the front. He was always in the rear with the guys wounded that needed him more. Yeah, they've shown that. They showed that continuously.
Hearing JR talk about if the medic got hit first, I could just imagine JR with a Hello Kitty Band-Aid like, "Are you okay? Please, no."
That's a great thing about your doc too, man. A lot of docs have a great sense of humor because of some of the stuff that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I mean, how many times can you roll up to the same 12 dudes and be like, all right, kick them and chuck them. And what he's talking about is pull your boots off and take off your socks. I need to look at your feet. There's a special relationship with that. Or, you come up and you're like, hey doc, I burned in a little bit on that jump. Can you take a look at my hand? And there's like a giant, like sliver of wood sticking through the meat of the bottom of the palm of your hand. And he just sits there and goes, oh yeah, that looks like it sucks. And just yanks it out and puts on a Barbie Band-Aid so that you'll have something to, focus, like, dude, what is this? And he's like, yeah, but it doesn't hurt now because you're more worried about the way your boys are going to look. Put on a set of gloves. You're fine. Right. So, I mean,
that whole thing for Major Pain, I think my leg's broken. Here, give me your finger. Now you're not worried about your leg.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they make the docs have a real tough job 90% of the time because a lot of times they're attached to units where it's like, go get them, and then they go get them, but they do it in like attack dog fashion. And sure enough, here comes this dude that's going to be like, why did you jump over the wall? He was trying to get away. But he's not wearing armor and 70 pounds of gear. He can make that 8-foot leap there, hero. And it's like, look, dude, just put my foot back on. I got to get back in the chase. And it's like, trying to argue with a dude who's obviously hurt. And they're all saying, I need to get back into this. That's, that's something you don't often see in a lot of other units, but in a special group like the Legionnaires, even there, I'm sure it's no spoiler now, but I won't spoil it totally. But somebody loses a limb or like 9 in the later books, and it's like, my legs, do something so I can get back in the fight.
I
Gorilla Glue.
I bet Hardwick could actually, tell us some stories of his experiences and stuff because. He was a medic, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yep.
Yeah, real cool dude. And if you guys don't know who we're talking about, look back. What was it? Almost a year now when we had him on.
I think about 6 months.
Yeah. No, he was really cool, and it'd be great to pick his brain on that one again.
Yeah, Scott's given JR some grief. I think JR has My Little Pony Band-Aids. But we used to carry.
My Little Pony is for murderers. It's Hello Kitty. Get it right.
But you develop that gallows humor and stuff like that. I mean, I know. I used to be the guy that everybody would come to and be like, hey, because after a long day on the range or something like that, you got to clean your weapon and turn it in. I'd always be the guy to find the carbon, and any carbon in your weapon at all, that armorer would hand that back to you and be like, go clean it again. So. Guys would come up and be like, hey, how do you keep finding all this garbage? And I handed my cleaning kit, and sure enough, I got dental tools and dental picks in there.
Still have mine.
And they're like, oh, dude, this is great, but why do you have tons of strawberry shortcake dental tools? I said, and my deal is, all right, 2 things. Thing number 1, you got to be a man to own that shit. Thing number 2, if you steal my cleaning kit, and I look down and you're rocking strawberry shortcake dental tools, I know they're mine. And I also know we're going to deal with it right then and there.
No, there's
So
a perfect reason to do that.
right, and like tons of medics who'd be sitting there, and I had a leech pulled off of me once, and Doc was like, oh man, here you go, pull this, that, blah, blah. Okay, see me in a couple of days. We just want to make sure this doesn't get affected. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, you seem like you're in a hurry. You all right? He's like, yeah, your boy, he's got him like all in between his like nether bits and like underneath underneath the trunk and berries. He goes, I'm gonna have to get all deep up in his business, and I want to get that over with so I can clear that kind of like mayhem out of my mind. I was like, this is like a train wreck. I'm going to need to watch this, even though I really shouldn't.
That's not the kind of sucking that we need at this time.
Right.
And because they deal with all that garbage, and sometimes people are resistant to the good, solid medical advice they give, they get a little salty sometimes, and bedside manner sort of just goes away.
Oh, yeah.
I dislocated my shoulder on the butterflies of the 50 cal. They're like, oh, just slam your shoulder into the door. It'll set it right back. So I did it once, and he goes, you just didn't do it harder. It'll work next time. I did it. The third time, though, I learned.
That story is funnier the second time.
Oh, my God. Yep.
I mean, it's part of the relationship, though. I mean, you mess with them, they mess with you.
Yeah.
It's like your kid brother in a bar fight. Like, you can punch him, but nobody else can.
Yeah. Archangel Gaming has said, solid medical advice. Morton in a lap. Or Motrin in a lap, rather. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say. But yeah, so, I mean, that's the other thing, too, is a lot of times when you're doing close quarters battle and you're in those tight confines, you're going to end up, you don't have the time to be like, all right, we're going to take 10 minutes and just recover injuries and blah, blah, blah. Normally, CQB is very fast. It's very get it in, get it done, and get it out. So what do you guys have as far as like the changing and adaptive environment that Legionnaires had to go through in the books, as far as like no rest? There was just no rest for anything. You just had to keep going. I think in Kill Team, they had a really great example of that when they were storming the ship to stop it from, I don't know, crashing or something. And, it was only going to be a little crash. I'm sure it would be fine.
Just a small crash.
Yeah.
Fit out.
But wasn't going to take anything special.
So at one point, the
nothing
team
important would be lost.
yeah, exactly. The team ends up getting broken up, and instead of stopping their advance, they start advancing and kind of testing out their training. What did you guys think of that?
That was an intense read.
They need to. That they were shown that they have to evolve in order to take the objective, whatever the objective may be.
Yeah, the importance of flexibility as well.
Yeah. And you see it again in Turning Point whenever they have to go and they go from being Overwatch of the shield generator to switching over to capture and secure the lead donk.
Yeah.
You see that happen immediately. They're like, oh, we're this. Nope, now we're this. Switching.
The best example, I think, of it as far as ways that translate for sci-fi but not necessarily directly applicable to like modern combat was the battle for Tarragon Moon, when they're underground and they're like on the walkways, trying to have that firefight on the walkways with that steep drop, and then running back into the control room where they could not fall a million feet. I thought that was dope. That was pure sci-fi space opera goodness, but pure military as well.
Yeah, Attack of Shadows was just one of those things where you were just like, I know the first time I read it, I was reading it on my breaks at work, and I'm just like, no, I need 5 more minutes. Like that whiny like 10-year-old that doesn't want to get out of bed for school, and it's like every scene in that sequence, you were just like, oh my god, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, Attack of Shadows is my favorite book of the whole series.
Is it the shifting narrative that you really enjoyed?
No, it's just the wall-to-wall. Everything's going to shit. Let's try not to die.
100% conflict, 1000% of the time.
I love the space battles paired with the ground battle that was happening at the same time. I love my very rotund gun controller guy.
Thales.
Was it
Major
Thales?
Thales, he has
Yeah.
his own
Yeah,
Oh,
he
you
was
mean Captain
great.
Thales? You mean Captain
Yeah.
Thales,
His own
who was
book. He's a
Navy
major.
artillery?
He was a
Hey,
major.
when he was introduced, he was a Navy captain.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
this
I'm looking
guy.
that shit up right
This
now.
guy, he's
And,
gonna look up be like, well, actually, on page 63 of chapter 5.
Oh God.
Don't tempt me.
maybe I
I
should go-
will.
Angry's getting her book now. Oh no.
Oh hell!
It's getting real now.
It's getting real now. She's got the book. Yeah, the walkway scenes in that, as well as like the control room battle for the control room, were really intense because it was almost like hallway to hallway fighting, where there was just no let up. It was just constant them moving and trying to outmaneuver themselves the whole time. It was really good.
Can't find my Kindle, damn it.
Why you
That's
should buy
so
dead
going on a
trees.
shirt.
Fail.
Always know where your dead trees are.
Yeah,
He was a major in the Repub Army. It says so on my outline that I did for a book review.
Oh wait, that's your outline.
That's the
I
outline.
took it directly from the book, Message for the Dead. That's where you need to find it.
Did you like? This was for a book report?
No, I posted it on my website.
No,
GR
gotcha.
does book reports now. he's
Get a good
he's
grade.
I
next-
used to, I
that
used to do a lot
is
more
later
detailed ones
on.
that life happens.
Yeah,
That is
life
later on, but when he
PR
was
is often
introduced, he was a
wrong.
captain.
Yeah, but I think he was
I was-
Republic Army. I don't think he was Navy.
It
he was
said
Army.
Republic Army. It said Republic Naval Artillery. That's what I remember him saying.
Now it looks like we're gonna have to get Jason and Nick on here to settle this.
Yeah,
We
like
have more questions.
how
We must
every
settle this
month
tonight.
they changed the name of Utopion and then they completely ditched that later on.
Oh my god, I thought that was the funniest thing.
Wait, what?
Labyrinthine, Utopian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every
constantly-
month they changed it, and then it was like, oh no, it's Utopion no matter what now.
Yeah, it's brilliant. The thing about CQB that is really, really dangerous is the confines, because normally when you're talking like long range engagements, you know, even with like blasters and high tech weapons, even still you have time in between when things are happening to kind of maneuver around each other, and there's just no time in a close quarters battle. Can you guys think of an instance in the series, or at least episode series 1, where there was just no time for anything to react to anything?
I would argue the one time when something fell on somebody else and then they became no legs.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had time to
You're not
react, he
wrong.
would have legs.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Right. Some of the guys in the chat are even pointing to the Savage Wars series and the Battle for New Vega for a lot of CQB.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you guys think about that?
The battles down the tunnels are pretty intense.
You're
No
right.
question about it.
The first battle for New Vega, when they're trying to clear out the stadium, and then when they're going from street to street, and then they end up in the bank, and it was just nightmare the whole way.
Yeah, the what do you call it? Shooting across buildings and shooting from the bank and trying to get positions in the bank in order to get shots on target. Yeah, that was super intense. I mean, just
Right here. Sorry.
Oh, here we go.
Also
No.
in the in book 2, right? Yeah, I'm on. Okay. Also in book 2, during the gods portion on New Britannia, that was pretty badass combat right there.
Oh yeah.
When he's
Yeah.
High
doing
score.
When he's storming the ship single-handedly. And
Yeah.
he's clearing it out on his own.
Yep. He's just like,
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, Prometheus is kind of a force of nature. I would so love to have a Prometheus series. You know, that would just be.
You got to
that
keep
would-
begging.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
we just call that food porn?
Got-
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
In between Reno and Rome, yeah, you know it.
it's like I said, I can't eat a cheeseburger the same way again after reading that book.
I can. I just skip past it.
Would you stop being a dirty heretic, please?
No, never.
Yeah.
Well, I think it needs to have an accident. That button.
No, I would never do that. Never do that. So what are some of the other instances, if we even go to the Savage Wars, of them getting Titanic involving combat? Do you think Book 3 had a lot of CQB encounters?
Yes.
The one that really stands out to me is any time the wild man got on the trigger, it was just a total, like, I am in love with this. And Daniel's wearing the shirt. It's like, I am just in total love with this cat, because, and even a certain general realizes through the series, or rather through that scene, he's like, holy crap, we have Overwatch, we can do this now, right? And it's just like, here comes another enemy. Oh, he's down.
Gone.
And somewhere in somebody's broken psyche, there's do another one, babe. And I just got goosebumps. It was God, that's so good. Right. So what are some of your favorite CQB scenes from the Savage War series?
When they first came back to the planet, and it was with the 100, where they all get together and they're like piling outside of, I think, the factory. This is 6. It was a while ago since I last listened to it, but they're all piling outside of the building, and the leeches just start streaming in and are clearing the area and killing the savages, and then working to the main focus that they're trying to clear out. And I thought
the
that
AA gun.
I think so. It's
right
like
there
where
with
they're
Ford and all them.
Yeah, well, Ford and McAfee need to get to a certain place to jack into a certain thing.
Oh wait, you're talking about at the end. You're talking about at the end. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, where they're all streaming in, and they're
McAfee.
Yeah, McAfee.
Leave the hate.
One of the scenes that really stands out. One of the scenes in Savage Wars of CQB that really blew my mind was the in the tunnels with the engineers going against the savages. And those savages, like the way they were described and stuff like that, it's like, okay, I have to do close quarters battle against a Minotaur rocking a minigun. There's way too maxi in all this mini, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? So
the savages really brought the hate all through that, between that and their that molten flamethrower gun thing they had.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Spoilers.
Right, just decimating
troops.
Who
won on the spoilers comment.
Hey, that's not that big of a spoiler, if anything.
Yeah, there we go. So, what if anything? Yeah, after the fact. Yeah, there we go. So, what if anything would? What kind of close quarters battle do you think that the boys haven't tackled yet in their storytelling that you'd like to see?
Well, I mean, what was that?
Like in 0G.
Close quarters battle in 0G. They angles of attack.
Touched on that a little bit in Exigency.
I haven't made it to angles of attack yet.
I touched on a little bit.
Yeah, they have a CQB moment in Exigency.
I was gonna say, like, I think a majority of all the underwater. I mean,
have we done?
I mean, yeah.
In a volcano.
In a volcano, in air.
30 miles underground.
For you.
Refresh my memory. Have we had any real heavy urban CQB?
I
think
Savage Wars to be urban.
I mean,
Savage Wars was mainly urban.
Oh yeah,
Reservist had some urban scenes, if I remember right.
Yeah, the
I don't know. I don't know that I would call what was happening in the city really CQB, because mostly they were just keeping the fuzzies away.
Well, I just mean urban.
but there was urban. But when you consider close quarters combat, you know the combat part is important.
Yeah, not the hardcore block by block kind of action,
right?
Like Berlin 45.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ken is saying that CQB with a ton of non-combatants around.
Yeah, that's a hairy situation to be in.
And there's what do you call it? There's some evidence of that in the Contracts and Terminations novel.
Madame Guillotine.
Yep, Madame Guillotine. But not only Madame Guillotine, but Requiem for Medusa. Same thing. Yeah, he gets into a big street fight.
Really, also in all three of them, even in Dragon, Chasing the Dragon.
I think that's why I like the Contracts and Terminations so much, is because it really opened up the universe a lot more, and you got to see, them fighting in or Rex fighting in a non-standard situation, whereas with the Legionnaires, they're always going to, for the most part, war zones or areas where there's going to be more combatants than non-combatants. So yeah.
Yeah, I really like what the Contracts and Terminations does, is in agreement with what you're saying, is Tyrus isn't always going to go into a war zone. You might have to track somebody to someplace that's kind of not used to just getting shot up. Because depending on who he has to, like the casino in the second book, and the Contracts and Terminations books, when he's going after that I don't want to spoil it, but that the one dude from book one, and he's like, he's basically a running gunfight in a giant casino.
The final battle on the book 9 had running street fight, which I guess we call CQB.
Yeah,
that had non-combatants around as well. Although they quickly either died or left, which is generally what happens.
Right on. So they've kind of, it seems like they've kind of covered most of the close quarters battle that you're gonna Wayne Hutton. There we go. On the tram.
I was actually thinking, because work is sometimes frustrating. Do a CQB battle at a gas station, or like
have you guys seen Gross Point Blank?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. It's a funny kind of. It's a comedy movie, but it's about a hitman or whatever. Anyways,
that's the one with the dude
John
who holds.
Cusack.
Yeah, John Cusack.
Yeah, John Cusack. He ends up going back to his house, and it gets turned into a mini mart, and they end up doing a fight in this mini mart convenience store, and the guy's sitting there trying to play a game, and there's like exploding like bags of chips next to him, but he's got headphones on, so he can't hear it. I think that would be a really fun thing to see happen in Galaxy's Edge. Just that on a larger scale, like I don't know, maybe in a space Walmart.
Somebody oblivious.
The people of Space Walmart.
Oh no!
Actually, I would vote.
It would actually be kind of funny with my area where I live. I'm pretty sure, like half of my customers are concealed carrying, so it'd be funny where it's like, oh yeah, someone tried to rob the store. Literally half of the stores pulls out their guns and joins in the fight too.
They're all sitting there. I've been waiting for years for this moment, and today is the time.
Today is my day. Thank you.
Well, that reminds me of that one scene in Resident Evil 2. Old dude rolls up into, what is it? Like a hotel or something?
Oh, yeah.
I think
and it's full of nothing but the local cops.
Yeah.
They did that in the Schwarzenegger movie. I think it was Cobra or no. It's a Schwarzenegger movie where they roll up to rob a Dunkin' Donuts like late at night, and the guy's like tweaking, and he's got the shotgun pointed at the guy, and the guy behind the counter is not even scared. He just points it behind him, and the guy turns around, and there's like all these like red dots on him. He's like, "Okay, I'm leaving now."
Last action hero.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, this is why we can't have nice things. but speaking of having nice things, seeing Tyrus tracked over a newspaper debt.
Oh, I was reading that he was making reference to Better Off Dead with John Cusack.
Oh, the kid who could $2,
$2 the whole time.
Oh my God, yes.
In the books though, the Takeover had a lot of good scenes like that too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And the what do you call it? And from a kind of like a different perspective, because instead of all Legionnaires, now you're talking mercs who are like of mixed experience. And that's the other thing.
Support.
Yeah.
So there was in Order of Centurion, when they were the Marines and then were hunkered down at that building, that would qualify as CQB when they're getting the doobies attacking them.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They're defending that building.
Back to Takeover, I did like that scene how they were clearing room to room of the donks, and I thought that was really well done. How they just like would come in completely quiet and eliminate.
It wasn't technically urban combat. It was more fighting to survive, but they did have that in Takeover during the entire street chase in the middle of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly peaceful donks, Dan. Get it right.
Oh God.
Mostly peaceful.
Yeah, he's gonna try and go and be that guy. But
that's what the House of Reason tells us. That's what the House of Reason tells us. Is the House of Reason ever wrong? Come on.
No.
House of Reason's never wrong. Just like how Pineapple is perfect.
Oh God.
Send his book back to him.
You're now required to pay twice as much for any book.
Oh my God.
You're a terrible human being.
So real quick, JR, did you have something you wanted to talk about? Maybe nominating or something like that?
So if you Google, because the website's a little convoluted, and it is shared and tagged in both the Discord and the Facebook group. The nominations are still open for the Dragon Award, and we're trying to get Exigency for Doc Spears' book in military sci-fi and Forgotten Ruin in the fantasy novel for the 2021 voting block. So if you haven't voted, they could use your vote.
Forgotten Ruin is a shoe-in win for fantasy. I'm just saying, because that's a fact. And if people don't understand that, and they also haven't read the book or listened to that book, then it is your duty as a citizen to shove it down their throat and make sure they love and appreciate it.
That's I can get on board with.
Panel Van's in their future.
Damn right.
But yeah, definitely check out Forgotten Ruin. Both books are now on sale, so you can get them, and definitely heap the love on for the Dragon Awards. Get those books front and center so that more people can check them out, because that's really the big benefit of something like the Dragon Awards, is having more eyes on the property so you can get it out to as many people as possible.
Speaking of getting more eyes on the property, please remember to rate and review all of the books you read on the reviewing platforms. Please be kind and speak your mind.
Yeah, every time you slap me through a computer.
I just loved it when Dan's eye starts twitching. When JR starts that.
Whitaker eye.
It's important.
But it's important.
Every match
who have not reviewed them.
So two other things. Hit and Fade will be dropping audio June 1st, I believe, right?
Yes.
Oh. And then we all can be happy about that, as well as this is our last public podcast for our second public podcast. This slot is going to be filled with a new campaign, and it's going to be the Forgotten Ruin playtest as well, that Walt is going to be running, because he can only do so many things at once.
No, it's because he loves us.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. So yeah, there's it's going to be coming in the future. We have lots of big plans. We had a huge meeting this week talking about what's going to be going on and how we're going to present it to people and some other things. I also spent an afternoon talking to some dudes about some different game support for this. Not just the game we're producing, but also doing conversions. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah,
we're getting excited, Walt.
So I'm gonna torment Walt. How are we looking on that Galaxy's Edge tabletop RPG? Are we getting closer to firing off a certain kind of a Kickstarter or something like that?
Very soon. Very soon.
Take my money.
We are. We're working very closely with the guys over at Enemy Spotted Studios. If you don't know who they are, you should really look them up. They are very cool dudes. Julian and Ryan.
Group of dudes.
Yes, they are very cool. Julian and Ryan do really great work. But not only that, if you grab a whole load of their and look, if you join for their newsletter, you can get 20% off the entire store. Their miniatures are amazing. They do a lot of modern military. Julian just dropped tonight a great image of a mech. So like if you wanted to use like a Galaxy's Edge like mech, they have a mech that would totally work for that. And if you wanted to play Forgotten Ruin, I don't know, but there might be like minis in here that you can get that would totally work for Ranger teams.
Speaking of Forgotten Ruin, it was asked in the chat if we could elaborate why the military thriller that is Forgotten Ruin qualifies as fantasy, and that's because basically it's Rangers in the middle of Middle Earth, kicking ass and taking names and stacking orc bodies. So that's Tolkien says orcs.
Throw the orc.
Sorry.
I'm just excited that they have dog minis.
I saw those this morning.
Do you need a moment?
Embrace the fantasy.
Yeah, and are you going to get some of those? Are you going to get some of those minis, Badger, and paint one to look like Boulder?
If I grab something like that, he'd be way too interested because like I have to keep all my figures high because he likes.
You mean higher than 8 feet?
Well,
higher than that.
yeah, it's not good.
Could you keep it in a locked metal cabinet at normal chest level?
He's psychic. He would learn like the combination and just either that or just pick the lock or eat it.
Or eat the lock.
Or eat the
just
lock.
Eat the whole box. Chew right through it.
Yeah, the other day he rolled outside and was like, that's right, I'm famous. I'm in a book about a space mercenary bounty hunter. It's the most amazing thing ever. And you know what else is amazing? Because I'm in the book, I play a psychic dog. I also am psychic in real life because I know right here there is a groundhog, and he caught it in his mouth and then started tossing it up in the air to play with it.
And just to clarify,
yeah, go ahead, JR.
The Friday 3:30 Eastern Forgotten Ruin game on the Twitch channel stays. What Gino was talking about is the evening podcast. They're going to change it up a little bit. So there'll be one insider podcast Friday evening, one public podcast Friday evening, and then one or two games, gaming sessions of the various new RPGs will be aired that time.
Yeah, it's going to be Galaxy's Edge in typically the first half of the month, and then Forgotten Ruin in the last half of the month. So
we need more time.
The first Friday of the month is always going to be a public podcast. The last Friday of the month is always going to be the insider podcast, and between then, that's when we have our play sessions.
Right on. So, anything else before we close the airlock door and then take off for parts unknown?
We need to put Bubba on the outside of the airlock door and call it good.
Why are we? But we love Bubba. Why are we putting him on the outside?
I think we need to just some swordfish, and you know why? Yes, You know
Listen,
why?
I'm just saying.
You heretic.
Just saying.
You dirty heretic.
So wait,
JR gets too crazy with the sab, and he doesn't pay attention, and he gets spider drones attached to his leg that need to be shot off at long distance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, there's some crazy scenes that keep going on inside these various gaming properties. But we want to thank everybody for coming out, and thank you for hanging out with us on a Friday evening talking about our favorite property, Galaxy's Edge. We will be back next week for the Insider Show, where I'm really trying to get us a special treat for that. If you're Galaxy's Edge Insider, I done keep my fingers crossed, because right now I'm dealing with an agent, and
I wonder who you're talking about. Huh.
So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more when I hit the button. But we want to thank everybody for coming out, and thank you so much for supporting this great property. Nick and Jason are really great dudes, and they make fantastic stories. And every time you can support them, you're ensuring that that they're going to continue writing in this fantastic property. And we'll catch you next time on the Galaxy's Edge podcast.
In the words